Week 3 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few defense DST units I would start this week. The first one, the New York Jets. So the Jets, we know they got a top 5 defense in the league, but week 2 was a rough one for them at the Dallas Cowboys. So right now with a matchup versus New England Patriots, which I think will be a defensive battle for both teams in this one. I think the Jets could go out there and have a good ball game, get a few sacks on Mac Jones, and make some plays, and that's what they did in week 1 versus Buffalo. 16 points allowed, 5 sacks, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and a return punt for a touchdown on a walk-off to win the game. And then week 2 with the Cowboys, like I said, it was a tough one for this Jet defense. 30 points allowed and only 1 sack, but this week here, good matchup versus New England. Mac Jones, we know he's prone to some turnovers, and this pass rush could get by that offensive line. That isn't that great of a line over there in New England. So right now, I think the Jets DST bounces back this week and has a good one, and they're definitely a defense I would start this week. The next day we're staying in the same game is the New England Patriots. So this ball game I believe is going to be a tight one between these two teams with the Jets and Patriots, and the Patriots have always had the Jets number over the last few seasons here. So Bill Belichick, he's going to write up a good game plan where they're going to get to Zach Wilson early and often, and Zach Wilson, to be honest, he's just a turnover machine and one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league, I believe. So on the season for New England, they definitely had 2 tough matchups to open up the year. Week 1 versus Philly, 19 points allowed, 3 sacks, a fumble recovery. And then week 2 versus the high-powered Miami offense, 24 points allowed, a sack, an interception, and a block kick. So right here, week 3 at the New York Jets, I think they could do damage as this Patriot defense. I think they could get 2 or 3 turnovers. It wouldn't be surprising to me if they find the end zone in this ball game from the DST standpoint. And like I said, Zach Wilson's just prone to getting sacked and turning the football over. And with the Patriots being 0-2 on the season here, this is pretty much a must-win ball game, in my opinion, for the Patriots. I think this defense is going to set the tone in this one. It's going to be a low-scoring game, mid-teens, low 20s, I think, between these two teams. And New England's a DST I would start this week. The next DST is the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs, their defense definitely improved over the last week here. Chris Jones ending the holdout and signing a 1-year deal coming back. And they went up versus 2 pretty solid offenses to start the year and held their own, I thought. Week 1 versus Detroit, 15 points allowed, a sack, a fumble recovery. And week 2 with Jacksonville, 9 points allowed, 4 sacks, and a fumble recovery. So right here, good matchup in week 3 versus Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. And we know Justin Fields, he's been struggling mightily so far to start the season. Interceptions have been a problem. Him holding on to the football has been a problem, taking some big hits and sacks. And also this offensive line over there for this Bear team isn't that good at all. So right now, with all those factors and the Chiefs most likely getting off to a 10, 14-point lead to start the ball game, this is where they're really going to tee off and make some plays, I believe, in this one. So right now, with Justin Fields struggling in a bad offensive line, this is a good situation here for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then one of the DSTs I mentioned as well to head off the wire and a start this week, and even next week I would start him as well with the New York Jets on Sunday Night Football. So right now, pretty much is a 2-week start here. I like the Chiefs this week and next week as well. The next DST is the San Francisco 49ers. So the Niners have a great matchup on paper here versus the New York Giants coming to town on Thursday Night Football. So right now the Giants, we know in week 1 they got the doors blown off 40-0, and then week 2 it took a monster comeback from 28-7 to come back and beat the Arizona Cardinals. So right here, the first 2 games for the Niners, 7 points allowed. Week 1 at Pittsburgh, 5 sacks, 2 interceptions. And then week 2 at the Rams, 23 points allowed, a sack, and 2 windows. But right here, this Giant offensive line, one of the worst lines in the league here. And I think Nick Bosa is going to eat in this ball game. I think they're going to get a few turnovers in this one as well as San Francisco. And this could be another blowout victory like we saw with the Cowboys with the Giants in week 1, especially with no Saquon Barkley, who's obviously the best player on this New York Giant offense. So right now, San Francisco, I think, puts in a top 3 performance on the defensive side of things. And definitely a DST to start this week. And the final defense I look for starts the Seattle Seahawks. So the Seahawks, this season, their defense isn't all that great. But last week, even at a tough Detroit team, they went in there and made some plays. Week 1, they didn't do good at all versus the Rams. 30 points allowed, a block kick in that one. And then week 2 with Detroit, 31 points allowed, but 2 sacks, an interception, 2 fumble recoveries, including a pick 6 in that ball game. So right now, they got a great matchup versus the Carolina Panthers that pretty much have nothing going on offense. So far, Bryce Young, it's been a mixed bag of results for him. But just the playmakers and the running back position over there is pretty much non-existent for this Carolina Panther team. Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, and Hayden Hurst are the top guys. So I think the Seattle defense can have their way with this Panther team coming to the 12th man over there in Seattle. And their defense as well that I said to get off the waiver wire is a streaming option. And right now they're still available in a decent amount of leagues if you need a defense this week. So that's a few defenses I look to start here in week 3 of the fantasy football season.